The following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
I hope Curse is okay.
I think he's gonna be more than okay.
Yeah, you just made a significant and seminal entity much stronger.
I think
like
if
him.
the Archmage had some evidence to go to the Magic Council that this threat was a bit more real, that may have been a help to him. But, you know...
What didn't you like about Curse? He's friendly.
Hey, if
He was
Curse
sniffing my
Curse
armpits.
can destroy and eat these ancient evil Edomite things.
solves that problem too.
Then we
might
really need to keep him around.
that
Yeah.
might come in handy. But I was just thinking that if we can get the Magic Council moving to help on some of this stuff, even independently.
It's gonna be hard without tipping our hat that we know more than we
Yes,
should.
we had random evidence of this. We could have even said, "Hey, we found some cool magic devices and traded them in at that store."
What happens when they say, "And how do you know about the Edomites?" And
No.
I'm compelled to tell them the truth. And I say, "Well, you see, in the future."
Well, I could have just
Yeah, which brings up, I've also time traveled, which is another crime. Even
Not-
in the civil world.
Not to mention the way I time traveled.
Destroying him, yeah.
Well, anyway, that problem's dealt with.
Oh wow.
Shit.
It's almost time to go to work.
I am late to work.
What do we do about the base? I guess we definitely stop using it, but
Oh, now we
Well,
don't.
now
cleansed now.
Dr. Goodman's gone.
we hope.
Maybe.
Maybe. But he's cleansed
Could-
the base of any...
Could Curse
Evil.
actually destroy him without the...
Curse. Okay, you'd know this. So, Curse is like an S rank Catholic servant. Technically, what he is that he's general of the armies of the Edomite kings, and would be like on a rank table, like a Shadows of Mordor style rank table. He'd be like the one at the top, and Dr. Goodman would be just an ordinary guy who's not on that table.
so he'll find a way.
He's an ordinary orc.
Curse is very strong. Goodman is like a grain of sand compared to the ocean.
It's a troubling person to have around.
Well, at least he.
Very helpful when he eats all of my Edomite-related problems.
Well, he just saved us a lot of.
He saved the city.
Yeah.
Especially if he's also been killing all those things.
Your wall explodes with Catholic energy as the vortex forms again, and a figure emerges. It's Curse, but this time he has his battle crown back, and like the replete shining armor is all restored. Like where the breastplate, the fucking hip guards, the whole 9 yards. The cloak is like more intact and spready. He's like, ugh, restored, and your reward. Laser beams your suit. Just blurf energy. Goodbye, Fur.
Yay!
And your little bell's gone.
Oh, I am so disappointed.
No, his improved sensor ranking there.
And then he'll just leave.
He just does that a lot, doesn't he? Just shows up and then leaves.
No.
Or just...
Usually,
He actually
You
really
go to him
leaves
and then he
his...
just
He
leaves.
really leaves
Yeah,
his...
usually I show up and then leave.
Yeah. He's really, from what I gather, leaves his, like, zone or den or whatever.
Oh. Then why did he come here the first time?
Because Spectra read the book.
Oh, right.
And because Curse is Edomite in origin, he's tied intrinsically to uses of Edomite power. Which means he knows generally where they happen, but because his power was at the level it was, he couldn't directly oppose them.
But now he could every
But
time
now-
he pings.
He can oppose them because he gained a bunch of power, one from
The Living Fire.
the Living Fire and
the Living Testament.
the Living Testament, as well as what was in the syringes, which gave him enough power to deal with the Dr. Goodman problem, which gave him even more power.
Incidentally, that will give you an idea of what you can do with one of your. When you start penning your own magic books, have the ink reactive so that it forms a completely different magic book when you're near a heat source or something. There's a way you can get 2 books in one.
Tree efficiency.
Efficiency?
Tree efficiency?
Tree fitty.
Goddamn Loch Ness monster!
This one summons a Loch Ness monster.
That can be accomplished by crafting a thistle whistle. You can summon different kinds of Loch Ness monsters depending on what you want. Like hastiness, cleverness.
Perform a metal song to summon a lake troll, and you kill it with a phone. I don't know, man.
Awesome rice. Carrying
So
on.
are we done for now here with this?
Yeah, there isn't really much more we can do.
I think there's the whole Goodman.
And if Goodman is still alive, then the part of him that had Adamite power will have at least been ripped away. So after he reforms, he'll be a much easier problem to deal with. If he is still alive, which I doubt.
So we'll meet
Or
back.
it'll be much worse.
We'll meet back here tonight to deal with hopefully more mundane crimes.
Cutaway. Meanwhile, in the Grave of Sorrow, the Undertaker fills in one of 13 graves.
Oh, Skimwalker, are you busy at the moment?
No, I don't go back to work till next week.
I had a place, I didn't know what to get you for Christmas, but there was a place I thought you might be interested in.
Oh?
So I might as well, I thought, well, I'm heading back. I might as well, show you it if I can find it. It's kind of transitory.
What?
It changes location.
And gender.
Oh, okay. Lead the way then.
We'll see you guys tonight.
Yeah. Do you actually need a lift, or are you not going to walk around the town looking for another bike?
I could use a lift into town, but yeah, I do have to start looking for some more transport.
Okay. Well, I need to go to work, so I will drop you off. And then go. Superman.
Desmond's gone, man.
No, I had that skin now.
Yeah, he just goes to his wardrobe and goes,
Well, you'll have to unlock that skin.
Yeah. What, was that not unlocked?
It was only available for the Christmas event.
you've
seasonal
unlocked
skin.
you've unlocked it to be able to buy with real game money.
Oh, is that how
So
that
the
works?
little locker's gone clink open, but
Okay.
you still have to pay
So I
to
can
get
get
it.
that skin
You're
now.
gonna pay $20 to the DM.
Yeah.
No, I buy it with imp.
No, you buy loot boxes and you never get it.
I always
You
get
can
what I
only
want
buy
out of loot
loot
boxes.
boxes. in.
I've actually also been really lucky with my cosmetic loot boxes.
My ones for
Overwatch.
the latest Overwatch season have been garbage, so I stopped playing a game.
It's just uninstalled
Oh, no.
now.
I got one legendary skin and it's the Lubu Reaper.
It's the one I want, just because I played so much Dynasty Warriors. The only one I've got was like the old Zarya one.
Just look on his face when he heard
So many
It just combines my 2 favourite characters from anything, anytime, anywhere.
Don't you have like 6,000 spare credits or some shit anyway? Just buy
Yes!
that shit.
Yes, but
Yes, I do!
can buy that shit.
I also have one of every loot box going back right up to the point where I quit.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be if they were worth a fuck.
Yeah.
If they were transferable.
If they were transferable, I might actually be able to get those 3 stakes again.
So we're gonna go do mundane life stuff.
Ordinary boring life, or the OBL part of your job. Here's your newspapers. No.
Done.
Okay, so
Yeah,
your
yeah.
work is really boring compared to your morning.
You got to make a firebomb and everything. And now here you're under.
Did I hear you say my bomb broke before?
Yeah, just broke and
Gone
fell
forever.
apart, and then it's gone forever.
The bits
Can I
that
just
have
make that
fallen into
again?
Xander's computer.
Xander's antivirus software is really potent or something. Like it just happened. You slipped up when they hammered on the door, and now it's just it's
I mean, you
gone.
can just make it again. It's just 2 stone, 3 wood.
jetpack. Anyway, so you two, you can't find it.
Oh, without.
I don't care what you roll.
Oh, okay.
You can't find it.
I'm sorry. I kind of wasted your time. I can't find it. It's
What?
in any
what,
of the usual places.
What was it meant to be?
I'll describe what it usually looks like.
You know the mysterious Chinese shop and everything?
Yeah.
That. Melden's famous shop.
And it's good. Yeah, I'll say it's called Malden's famous shop.
Sounds like it would be very useful. I imagine I will need many ritually things, not just peyote.
Well, it's
In the
more of
future.
it's more from the stuff from the east. If you follow me,
But it's just China.
I don't mean like San Francisco and San Diego. I mean from
I've only
The
ever
Asian
been
region.
in 2 states.
red sand, blue sand, glittery.
1 cent, 2 cents.
But I thought you being a spiritual guy,
Good
that
job.
might still be something that... I mean, they have talismans, they're different, they're, again, like...
I did feel it. Oh, actually, I can't remember if that was. I need to quickly flash back. We went to that like other reservation place. Someone got murdered. There was an Asian dude, right?
Yeah.
Old
Wellesley.
Asian guy.
Well,
I felt a connection with the Asian gentleman from that murder.
he's Chinese.
It's Asian.
It's actually American.
Chinese American.
You racists.
There may actually be something there. If only we could find this place. What's its deal?
Well, just for today, $3. $3. This thing, $3. I not know what does.
You're looking at it. You like. You buy.
If I see it around...
It's
when
no
I'm
library.
by
Can't Spectre
myself,
find it every time she looks for it?
Yes.
I'll let you know
Thank you.
and tell you where I am, but I'll have to get ready for work. But I might see you later.
Look around quickly. It's not that many people around. Say some stuff that's not meant to be overheard.
Fucking get even with all these white people.
There's one other thing I should mention. I know with your connection to Smar, I am gonna have to do that thing soon.
It's been done.
It
You've
was
done it.
that was sorted out.
That we
Oh,
did
well.
that in the time
Yeah,
skip.
we did that in the time skip.
Oh, okay. Never
That was
mind.
established in the papers.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You know those papers you have one of.
Oh, God. Never read that one.
No,
Well,
I did that.
it was I believe the original paper that had it was from the alternate setting where Christmas didn't exist.
Yeah.
But
I
it still happened
I
in the real
actually
one.
did do a reprint of
Yeah,
that. with
it
things
still
that
happened
we
in
I
the
do.
real
It is
okay.
on the reprint one.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
That was
Anyway, carrying on.
Yeah. Anyway,
Making my job harder.
You made your job.
Oh yeah, I'm making my job harder.
Leave that in.
Yeah, okay. I just get to not have to quit out of kingdoms for longer.
yeah, I don't know what the rest of you doing. I'm at
Man,
work.
regular, everyday work.
You're working. Get me pictures of Soviet. Yeah, no, he's gonna put you on the new drug case. You seem to be good at getting pictures. I need proof of this new drug sweeping the town. Find out where it's coming from and find out how it's related to the Cold Rock's power core and that whore, that Russian Soviet. I know she's behind it. Get all the Americans addicted to drugs and then take over with your evil communist pals.
Right away, sir. Drugs.
You, what are you doing?
I don't have work.
Yeah, of course you don't. You're a Native American.
Hey, I work. Sort of.
Yeah.
Your job is to not do any work.
It's the best job. Yeah.
I like doing work.
Obligations. It's been a while since Agus killed all those gangsters. I think they might be trying to resurface them, so I might just basically go on day patrol.
Okay.
Plus, I don't really want to, like,
Are you playing Staying Alive by the Bee Gees while strutting around and you're
There
like...
he is! Get him!
Oh, I can tell well.
Run! Well, fly.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I can fly through an alley
Like an eagle.
like an eagle, and they can't turn their APC for shit.
I mean, just another sad performance by the crab.
Wait, maybe we should let them win sometime.
Let them arrest one of
After
us.
dodging through several alleyways, eventually you come across a horrible scene. Looks like some rough and tumble youths have been having a drugs party in this back alley, and they're all dead with great big grins, like they were having the
Feels
best
familiar.
time.
Oh,
Wait, is it a blood moon again already?
I won't touch anything, but just visually look for anything odd that might put it in our ballpark more than the police's.
Yeah, you do find there's some unusual drug paraphernalia, like little cassette tape holders with these tiny wee syringes in it. Like you just twist the end off and you just jab it in and squeeze it. And
There are multiple of these, right?
Yeah, they're like lined up in the case, and they're blue. The stuff inside is blue, and the case is got like someone's taken a Sharpie and just written blue velvet on it.
I'll use one of my little pouches as a little grabby to collect one of those. Well, the one that,
The fullest one.
yeah, the fullest one that isn't like
And there's a bunch
in
of
someone's
there's a
hand.
bunch of like spent ones lying around the bodies.
Sweet. And then I'll shift guys into the form of the Boris. I'm gonna use this to hit up a payphone and call the police. Or ching ching ching. Hello, police.
Cold Rocks Police Department, what do you want?
A couple delivery.
I was walking through an alleyway taking a shortcut, and I found some dead people in an alleyway. It looks like they've taken a drug or something, I don't know.
And what do you want us to do about it?
Well,
Your jobs?
your jobs.
Fine.
Here's the address. Hang up.
Must have been a crank call.
And then I'll
But a plainclothes car will pull up with a squad car eventually, and they'll investigate. Cool. Are you
I'll wander off.
sticking around to overhear what they say, or are you going to just fuck off?
Fly up on top of the buildings.
I was like, once they get into the alleyway and deeper, and I'll use the alleyway to get on top. A little bit of wing action when no one's looking.
So the first detectives show up. There'll be a squad car with like a pair of uniformed police officers who start stringing up like police line, do not cross things.
Yeah.
There's a plainclothes car. It's a Crown Vic. It looks like it's been rolled into several ditches in its lifetime. The front bumper's kind of like bent off. The front left indicator's duct taped on. Both mirrors are duct taped on. The roof is only held on by flex tape. So you ain't going anywhere.
No, that's the most durable part of the car now.
How many cable ties are holding this fucker together?
Like 2. The rest is tape.
It's only 2 cable ties?
The aerial is a coat hanger. Well, the normal aerial, the police aerial's fine. And it has like a dome light magnetized onto the roof, as they do. One detective gets out as a big fat party. A huge guy, and he's wearing a trench coat and a fedora. Because,
Because, weird.
And the other one's this tiny little stick with Coke bottle glasses. And he's got like a 12 pack of donuts. He's just eating as he goes up there, dusting for prints. With all the crumbs and powder that's going everywhere. He's like, this looks like another bunch of kids from the academy having a good time. Looks like they funned themselves to death, sir. Look familiar? Oh yeah, well, some of that shit lying around that place up north this morning. Next time you gotta give me a 24-pack. I'm wasting away. I thought you were on a diet. Yeah, I am on a diet. Just one 24-pack.
How did this man even get donuts?
Oh,
Cops find a way.
Cops find a way, man.
Police brutality.
Or Thursday.
Yeah, keep listening.
I'm sure the crime scene investigators won't appreciate you getting donut crumbs all over their crime scene. Ah! They'll give them something to do on their keep. Eventually, the crime scene team will show up.
Horatio Crane.
Horace Quince.
That's the one. Yes.
He walks into the alleyway. He takes off his glasses. He's like, Yeah, it looks like that new designer drug that's sweeping the streets. Looks like they cut it with something pretty bad, and it's affected their neurological systems, caused their brain to shut down. Case closed. Walks away. The rest of the team come in and eventually prove all of that. Not that you're there when the autopsies are done or anything, but
No. I'll hold on to that, yeah. People have their day stuff to do. Not a prison
oh
emergency.
no, drugs kill people. That doesn't happen every day.
Yeah. The new drug, and that might be interesting later, but I don't have to assemble the power core.
Carry on your patrol.
Yep.
Alright, give me a perception check.
25.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, you'll see Blue Gang Group and Red Faction and a couple of altercations.
Nothing as big as it used to be, though.
No, there's not that many of them left.
I'm surprised they're still fighting each other.
If anything seems like it's about to get out of control, firearms-wise or civilian-wise, who would step in?
No, they mainly seem to be just sticking to killing each other.
I might just call the police on each one I encounter, and they're different guys each time.
Yep. Cool.
Well, public trust in the police has gone up.
Yeah, they're actually calling us now.
Well, the crap's making the normal police look good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the police suck, that's why we had to do it.
You come across one scene where there's a bunch of Red Faction guys, and they're all in a car, and they've all had their throats cut, and the car is filled with in the back is about 14 or 15 kilos of cocaine, just there, and the bag full of money.
Hey, you could use that.
Just been left there in the car with the dead bodies.
And no one has responded to it yet. No cops around or anything. I'll lean over a bit and just have a look inside. Anything seem out of place? Or just might have been placed there?
Mix the peyote with cocaine.
Different coloured sand.
It'd be more effective.
You know my phone auto-corrected Mountain Dew to MDMA the other day.
Oh my god.
That says more about you. No, you don't see anything on a cursory examination out of place. They're all armed. I mean, they've all obviously got guns and knives.
Seems a little... It didn't take enough for it to be... Was it Red Faction in the car, or was it Blue?
It's Red Faction.
For the blue guys to have done this, they would have taken the money.
And the drugs.
And the drugs. And the weapons.
And the weapon, yeah.
Probably the car.
It would be easier
In other
to
words, there'd be
transport the
nothing
drugs
there.
if you have cashiered weapons in the car. So.
Yeah. Maybe there's Haitians, but so maybe even they would take the... I don't know.
Ask the Great Spirit. I'm sure he'll answer.
It's a bit over the top. Hey, Great Spirit, I found these 4 random dead gangsters in a car with cocaine, money, and guns.
Great Spirit is out at the moment, but is interested in your call. Please call again when it's not bullshit. And towards the end of your patrol, at the end of the workday, you find like there's like an obvious drug deal going down. So you swoop in, but you find that it's just a bunch of Blue Gang group dead.
So from like the rooftop where I spied them, it looked like a bunch
Looked like
of dudes
they was about to
get
do
down.
a drug, but when you get down there, you find that they're actually all dead.
Oh.
Throats cut.
Oh.
This time, it's like there's no money around, but the drugs are all still there.
Is it only bodies of Blue Gang Group that are
Just
there?
Blue Gang group.
But they were about to make a deal with somebody else.
Looks like someone set up a buy, but whoever had the money probably did this. No other, same as before, like no other weird signs around.
No.
I mean, if I was dealing with petty drug deals, that's how I'd do it.
Yeah. This would be like at the end of my day of stuff, right? So I would call a power call now. Other people have things to do in the days.
You do your days. They're done. There's
Work.
there's nothing really awesome that any of you are going to encounter, to be honest. You're a whore. You bend over and get stuff for people.
Just chasing down newspaper ads to look for vehicles, but also sort of
Using work time to find a Vespa.
yes, and also just like fishing for clues. Maybe
Yeah,
do
you
they
can
know
buy
about
yourself
drugs?
a new crappy Vespa. It's just like your old one, but it's red.
What colour was the old one?
Sort of
Bluish.
yellow and bluish,
Yeah,
and
little.
it was multicolored from bits that
After
had been
she's-
replaced.
After she's bought the Vespa, is there a phone call at the car dealership? And then he goes, "Oh, it's for you." And she's like, "What are you doing buying that Vespa? Get my pictures."
Nope.
Well, red means it goes fast. You just walk enough, and I mean, like,
Yeah, they're fishing for people advertising things, so you can and subtly ask them like, maybe you've heard anything about this drug thing that's going on, and it's basically
Well, the gangs are always dealing drugs, although the Red Faction and the Blue Gang group have not been doing it so much lately, so the Bedoans have really pushed into their territory. Like, pretty hard. So you can still get any marijuana or cocaine you want.
like there's a surplus of that because demand's not so high.
There's less pushing, so.
I don't think the Vidons would tick as much.
Yeah, well, that's my day, just gradually narrowing in and moving towards that area.
Until everybody gets a.
What's the stitch?
Seem to be using this a lot, but I found some odd things over the course of today.
Yeah, so did I.
I was basically just patrolling, and
You're
Hey,
okay.
there's a new drug on the streets, but that was the first thing I found. I have a sample for you.
So you caught them right and dirty.
Jesus. Oh no, but the second scene I
Luigi
come
is
across.
clearly the Doan, so.
So like I have samples of that if you want it for investigating later.
Samples of what?
There's a new drug on the streets. I listened in on the
Blue velvet.
yeah, blue velvet. But I came across a bunch of Blue Gang group in a car, and they had their throats slit. The money and drugs and weapons in the car was still there. Later, in an alleyway, I thought I spied a drug deal going down.
What'd you do with the money and drugs?
Oh, left it there and called the police.
In situations like these, you really should just dispose of that yourself.
Oh, yeah, right. It was just in a car at the side of the. Probably should have destroyed those drugs. But yeah, anyway, they have more dead gang members in the alleyway. Same MO. No money this time though. I think whoever set up the deal was the throat slitter in this.
They
instance.
deliberately set up drug deals and then just murdered the dealers, basically.
I think it might be the Bedoans, maybe. They're the new gang on the block.
Well, Aegis was killing Red Gang Group and Blue Faction.
There wouldn't be too much left to capitalize. It's what we would have. I mean, it's what you would do, right?
If I wanted to deal with petty drug dealers, I would set up a buy and then kill them and then defeat them.
Part of work, I gotta
And
say.
I think that's a good decision for you to destroy and beat them.
As part of my job today, I got told to look into this drug thing, and I've been asking people, and the Vidoans do keep getting mentioned.
So if they're reasonably new in town and they're looking to carve a bigger niche for themselves, I mean, it would make sense for them to destroy the competition, as it were.
Why not take the drugs? though?
Although that wouldn't explain why they haven't taken any of the drugs.
Maybe
And
they're
why they
not
left the
interested.
money.
It might just be more of a message. I don't know.
But a bigger message would be to take the drugs. Yes, we
You
killed your
already-
guys, and we also have the drugs and the money.
To me, this would
Maybe
suggest
that
we've got
doesn't
some
motivate them.
kind of vigilante here.
That's not a vigilante, that's just a criminal.
No, I mean, it's not somebody who wants either the money or the drugs.
This
I mean,
one-
unless the money's fake. Did you
Well-
check if the money was legit? Or whether
Well-
it was just one of those...
No, I didn't rifle through the money. I didn't want to touch anything.
Would you even know how to tell a convincing fake from real money anyway?
No.
Well, if they plan to just
I just
make it
sort of
look
assumed.
like they've got the money and then murder them, they might just line the top row with money and not bother with what's underneath.
But you said they were all sitting in the car, all with their throats slit.
Still had their weapons on them,
Even the ones in the back,
even the ones in the back.
were the windows up or down.
The windows were up.
The windows were up.
And
Then that's a real problem.
not a single shot was fired.
Well, I didn't see any
And if the throats were slit,
guns.
there would have been a lot of blood, so they couldn't have just been... Even if you'd moved them into the vehicle, you would have gotten blood everywhere. So they were killed in the vehicle with the windows up, fully equipped, and they had their throats slit, and none of the money or the drugs was taken.
They were taken by complete surprise.
Or
They-
by
they-
someone they knew. Or they were incapable of somehow defending themselves.
Were
A
all
lot
the
of options in the world with mutants.
Yeah.
But if not a single shot
The-
was fired and they were all armed, then they must have all been taken out very quickly.
What kind of weapons did they have?
There were knives and
Knives?
guns.
So, there's going to be a news report, like conveniently right now, and it will detail how the police are investigating 4 criminals who were found, 4 drug dealers who were found in a car still filled with drugs and money and guns, all with their throats cut, and there's no fingerprints. And it's like all they've revealed right now is that the four gang members were all part of the same gang. They were all mutant criminals who were unregistered. They were all suspected of drug dealers, and one of them was under police surveillance, who had somehow slipped surveillance that day. They're not releasing names or identities at this time.
Wait, they're all mutants?
Yes.
It could
They
be
all had the
turning-
mutant gene. Whether or not they had like active powers is not known.
And this was public knowledge? I mean, it is now obviously, but it was.
All of them have been in either the court section of the papers or have been on trial before for drug-related crimes. But it's kind of easy for criminals to just get new identities. So, and they all would have had their throats cut with a big knife.
Well, how much do you know about the Vidoans' voodoo magic?
Nothing really. I spoke to one of them once. she said some gibberish at me. I'm kind of used to the gibberish, but it kind of was related to Haiti, so I'm not really sure how I could say
Yeah.
stuff.
The men that killed themselves, did they all have their own knives? Could they have killed themselves?
They wouldn't have had any blood on them, right? Like on the knives themselves. I suppose they might have. Yeah. It could have happened, but I
They
guess
would have had to fold them up and put them away again.
Because they
With
didn't
their
have knives that big.
Yeah, with their throats cut. No, when the police is looking for like a hunting knife
Yeah.
or a K-bar or something like that,
Not like
not like a butterfly knife,
I don't doubt
a
that
big knife.
that Papa Lake Bob maybe could do something like this, but I don't know about. Oh, do you remember the guy I told you about on the roof that time? I got a little bit of info on him once. I haven't seen him again.
How did you run into them the last time? Wasn't it from your investigations on Lucius King?
Yeah, I was following a red tracksuit guy, my boss, and he had a meeting with one of the Vidons, and he observed me on the rooftop. And he had escaped before I finished my conversation.
And you haven't run into him again?
No, he just said that my business with them was done. I didn't realize he was right, and I haven't seen him again since.
Try to push this guy in the red tracksuit to get information out of him. Find out anything he knows.
I'm thinking he's my next stepping stone up in that. There.
Do you know anything, Spectre?
About how these people died? I can hazard guesses, but they're just guesses.
No, the Vidon voodoo magic.
Not really. I haven't seen it, so I can't tell what it is. Shamanic, totemic, could be any number of things.
Maybe we need to find out.
There wasn't a lot of blood, correct?
I imagine the car would have been sprayed in blood, or was it all? No, there was blood.
Okay then.
So you're just seeing the red faction. It's just these gang members are being attacked and killed.
Yeah, no Vidoans at all. So another thing makes me think them maybe.
So we need to stake out some of these gang members.
We might be able to.
The Vidons are still a smaller gang. Even after Aegis has come, they still don't have the same numbers as the red faction.
Do you-
Blue gang.
Although with the support of whatever they have, if it is magic or the spirits or
Can you remember anything about? You said you saw a drug deal was about to go down, right? And then you lost sight of them, and then when you got closer and
when I
saw the whole thing,
when I went
that,
down
that
into
was.
the alleyway,
yeah.
they were dead.
Do you
It
remember?
had to have been very fast.
Do you remember anything
Or
about?
It just looked like the way the bodies were positioned. It looked like a drug deal was about to go down.
Could have
If
been
anyone
that.
was sitting or leaning against something.
It was dark. too.
Did you get a? Do you remember anything about the other people who weren't in blue?
Thinking back on how many bodies there were and how many I first kind of noticed when I was on the roof, were there other people there? Could I have worked that out?
Yeah,
So there were definitely more people there.
it would have to have been. Yeah,
There definitely was more people there.
You
They
don't
were
remember?
gone.
Is there anything you can remember about them? Like details, like what they were wearing?
I mean, it should be pretty
they
far
look
away
like.
and dark, but if I could roll it
you could.
for any small scrap.
I mean, if you can't remember, oh, that's pretty good though.
Well dressed, like business men.
I remember maybe suits, or they were definitely well dressed and held themselves.
Like formal.
Yes.
So they were alive one instant, and then when you got closer
They
and saw
blew.
them, they were dead again?
Well, they were dead, and the well-dressed men had disappeared.
Was there
Who,
just one
who could
well-dressed man?
who could possibly kill these guys that
Oh, they were
fast?
all-
No, but if there was just one well-dressed man, what if someone made a wish?
True.
Sure would be convenient if there were no drug dealers in the city.
That would certainly be one solution. They
hadn't
were all
thought of
alive, then they were.
It is definitely in his ballpark.
Well, he just basically made a. From what he told us, he basically made a wish that he wished to stop people, wasn't it? Bad people?
To stop all the evil.
So if somebody made a wish to be able to stop the drug dealers,
Or that
but
they
why
would just-
only
a kid
this
could,
one group?
A kid could make the wish that they wanted them all to die. And
But specifically just this one faction?
No, it's both red and blue. There were two separate events.
but
I
then
thought they were
why-
both the same. Okay.
So
But then why wouldn't the... I think then the Vidoans would definitely be caught up in that, wouldn't they? Unless it was very specifically just those two.
Unless
Like-
they have a way to deal with the Doujin.
They could.
Thing is, wouldn't the Vidoans still want the money and or drugs?
They would definitely want the money.
So it's either someone who has a problem with these gangs or somebody that has a problem with mutants, because that's.
I think this might have definitely
Okay, so a
been
news
the
report
Doujin.
will come up conveniently at this time just to give you the information on the second group, the Blue Gang Group one.
Yeah.
It looks like a drug deal between Mafia and Blue Gang Group has gone down badly. It looks like the Blue Gang Group and Mafia were about to engage in a drug deal when they were all killed. The money cannot be found, but forensics has found like footprints on the scene of it being removed, and evidence that the bodies were posed to look like they were still alive. The Mafia contribution was found in a car down the road riddled with bullets. Not at the scene of the deal. It looks like they got shot up, tried to escape but bled out on the way. Coroner's report is that they died from gunshot wounds and loss of blood. A projectile blade was found buried in a wall at the scene. When asked if they thought it was connected to the earlier finding of Red Faction groups with throat cuts in the card, the lead detective said that there is no apparent connection.
Okay.
Like the Blue Gang Group guys, only one of them showed any signs of a mutant gene. They were killed by different means.
But there is a connection. They were dealing drugs.
So do we think that the Mafia guys who were shot up, do we think that that was the same people who killed the gang members, or is that more likely to just be the Blue Gang
I
who
think
retaliating against the Mafia, thinking that they essentially double-crossed them?
I think someone else did this. Someone killed both the Blue Gang Group and the Mafia.
Beep beep.
Is that everyone?
This is you. Sorry for interrupting, sir. I thought you would like to know that there is an interesting incident on the police radio. It seems that the crime scene squad has been called out to another drug deal gone bad, this time involving the Vidoans. Or at least green-shirted individuals.
And they were dead as well.
Apparently they have been riddled with bullets.
Thanks.
Although that is just preliminary.
Was there another gang on the scene on this one?
I don't have that information, sir.
Thanks, Charles.
Very good, sir.
Let me know if anything else comes up.
Anything else?
Yeah.
As you wish.
Alright, switch over.
So there was another crime scene with Vidoans this time.
All the gangs are getting dead.
Yeah, the Vidoans were just shot up.
Do we have any more on what happened to them, or should I do a flyover, see what I can learn?
You may want to do a flyover.
This complicates things because there's something weird about, unusual about the throat slitting ones, but the shoot-ups is like, for all we know, that could just be the gangs reacting to this and blaming each other, which muddies the issue.
I mean, if the Dow Jin theory is right, then the shooting ones are just a convenient fallout of what happened. There was a drug deal, so things were influenced and it went bad. Whereas the Red Faction one, they were in their vehicle and there was no one around. So maybe they could have exploded the vehicle, but instead slit throats.
Black Knight, can you find out where the Mafia one was?
Sorry to bother you again, sir. The police radio again. Apparently, one of the more well-known leaders of the Blue Gang group has been found dead in an alleyway. I only mention it because you said you wanted to know about anything that was going on.
Is there do they have any idea of the cause of death? Or the information
The
about the
crime
person?
scene team is being dispatched because the detective is quite distressed at the sight of a man who's been opened up and spread along a wall, with the words, "It's never over," printed in his blood beside him. I thought it sounded familiar.
Thanks, Charles.
Very good, sir.
Well,
I'm not relaying this information,
Yeah.
by the way.
I figured you just got
Yeah.
silent.
I've gone like deep in the tank.
Okay. Well, all of the gangs are probably still in panic mode, so we can't try and draw something up with like our own deal.
Then why would Harbinger kill the gangs?
Wait,
Wait,
what?
what?
So Harbinger just killed the leader of the Blue Gang group. Very obviously, he's opened up.
Leader.
A leader of the Blue Gang group. Very obviously, he's opened up in an alley, and "it's never over" is written on the wall of blood.
And I can bet you it won't be once you get there.
There's no reason to go there. The police have already contaminated the crime scene with outdated forensics, useless thugs.
He never leaves anything anyway.
Unless he wants it to be found. Charles.
I'm dreadfully sorry, sir, but this one's rather important. It seems that the police, upon arriving with their crime scene unit on that scene, have found a dead police officer and 5 members of the Vidoan gang also skinned and hanging around on the walls.
The same way.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like
Is
you
that
stuck with-
secondary team staying in contact?
Yes, sir. Though they cannot find evidence of writing, sir. That may have been misreported.
Thanks, Charles. I might have to look into this one.
I suggest caution, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, obvious trap is obvious.
Sometimes the only thing you have to do is spring it.
Why is that always your first answer, sir?
So all I can really suggest is we stake out one of these gang places just to see if anything's targeting them.
So,
we know any
5
gang?
Fedoans and the officer that found the body were just found strung up in the same way.
You're a savage.
Yeah, I haven't been drinking out the bottle, so it's all good.
Were just found strung up in the same way, and the writing was gone. So we may need to look into that scene.
I'm sick of seeing inside out strung up people, no offense.
You get used to it.
You shouldn't have to.
I can steal this.
Beep beep. That took me less than that.
You did want to know about anything, sir, so
Yes.
I am to report that your father has been assigned to a special anti-drug task force to deal with this drug-related gang violence.
The violence specifically, or Blue Velvet?
I don't have that information, sir. Should I ask?
Just out offhand, not in a way that would draw any suspicion.
Very good, sir.
Is everything alright, Thomas? You keep going real quiet.
You always have more bad news.
No, sorry, I have a separate line I talked to Charles. He keeps his eye on the police scanner. So he can constantly feed us information. Hang on.
I'm afraid the 13th fire squad building has been quarantined by the police because all of the firefighters within are apparently dead. So that would be 12 active duty members. The reason I bring it up is because a large quantity of some form of new drug has been found amidst the bodies, and there is evidence they were high, sir.
Is it blue velvet or something else?
I believe it's Red Rage, sir.
Okay.
Made by the same manufacturers, clearly, but this one's red. Cassette tape things filled with syringes, sir.
Pop up on the top, push down.
Yes, sir.
I have a sample of blue velvet I'll need to test out, and hopefully once I
I do not recommend taking it, sir. It is apparently...
experiment, determine
You're
what
Soviet
it
test.
actually... I need to determine what it actually does in my lab.
Very good, sir.
So apparently there's a new street drug called Red Rage.
I was
It's like blue velvet, but the red.
So,
Beep, beep.
obviously that.
No.
So I'm guessing that the blue, if this is well known, the blue gang group and the red faction are both going to claim the other stole their drug and is masquerading it as the other one.
I think they have bigger problems at the moment. If that Harbinger thing is out.
Did Harbinger do the other ones? Or... I hate him.
Do we need to stop looking into this?
What do you mean?
Well, because your attention's on it, which is maybe why Harbinger is... If he's continually stringing up and
Yeah,
turning
if
people
I did
inside...
that, I wouldn't ever look into anything. I can't just live my entire life afraid of looking into things.
Does this mean the more we look into this, the more people are going to gradually get turned inside out and strung up?
No, more likely this was done so it would get my attention, so I would look into it.
But we were
Wait.
already looking into it.
Wait. A common thread between all of these seems to be the people that were on a drug or in possession of drugs, who are quite likely to be high. Maybe that's the reason people are dying. They're in an altered state of consciousness that makes them easier to get to. Beep beep.
Charles.
I have more information on the fire department, sir. It is the opinion of the medical examiner upon first examining them that they killed each other, sir, in some kind of psychotic feral rage.
So the total opposite of blue velvet then?
Should I ask, sir?
No, it's fine. Just not sure.
It's trying to fall off the wall. Stop it.
Thought he was going to tell me to kill a bug.
It's right there, Shannon. It's looking at me. I think he can hear you. Man, I need to watch Ghostbusters again. Those women, they're so funny.
You don't like the Mike Hat joke? Or
Never watched it. Never gonna.
there's a dog and it's
Don't care.
Okay.
No.
Fair.
Want me to be thieves are favor like under the surface. Don't know but you're speed of me under the prey.
There's only one way to stop Labor's taxes.
Kill them.